Hello and welcome to your daily Hatha Flow class. So I'm just conscious that we don't always have time for a longer practice. We don't always have an hour and a half, an hour and a quarter to flow through a practice and to give ourselves that opportunity for deep release. But with yoga, you can achieve a really nice relaxation. You can achieve a really nice physical release and mental, emotional opportunity to rebalance with shorter practices as well. And sometimes frequency is as important, if perhaps not more important than sitting down to do a longer practice. So for your practice, for this particular practice, you're just going to need your mat. You don't even need a mat if you're comfortable to practice on the floor. You can put down something that's just not going to be too slippy to give you a little bit of space between you and the floor. If you have a carpet, you can do this out in the grass. You can do it on the beach or anywhere at all you like, really, so long as you're nice and stable and comfortable. And I have a cushion with me as well, so you might want to get something nice and firm. Have a blanket for yourself at the end for your relaxation, for your shavasana. The dog is optional. If you have one, you might like to join in. Hopefully this one will wander away in a little while. But so get yourself sorted out with your bits and pieces. If you like to have music on during the practice, just get something that will be nice and either relaxing or energizing for you, whichever you prefer. And whenever you're ready, we'll get started. So what we want to do is just get ourselves into a nice, we're going to start with a short seated meditation. I'm sitting in Thunderbolt here, or Thunderbolt, where I'm just resting back onto my heels. It can be nice to pop a cushion underneath. If that's not going to be comfortable for everybody with or without a cushion, so if your knees are under pressure or it's hard for you to stretch out the ankles, then you can come to something like easy cross-legged, or bring yourself up against a wall, and you might like to come up against a wall, and you might even fall easy cross-legged and sit something like this. So find something that's going to be comfortable for you for a couple of minutes, just to allow the body to settle. This is just my preferred posture for this. It doesn't mean it's a better one, it's just what my body likes. So take a moment to get yourself settled, take a moment to allow yourself to quieten. If it's comfortable to close the eyes, I invite you to do so. And if you prefer to keep your eyes open, just have a long, low gaze at something out in front of you. So point on the floor, point on the wall that you can just allow yourself to focus on without concentrating too effortfully. You might like to bring your thumb and index finger in either hand into contact, bring the hands into mudra, and then perhaps allow the backs of the hands to rest onto the thighs, or you can allow the hands to rest down, or even one hand to rest into the other. Again, find something that's comfortable. And take a moment for you to welcome yourself into your space, to welcome yourself to your practice, to welcome yourself to a little time that you're carving out for yourself in the day, to welcome yourself into your body, into your mind, and even into any emotional content that might be showing up. So whatever's appearing, whatever's present for you is okay. Some emotions, some thoughts, some experiences are more difficult than others to be with. But if we just allow it in space, if we just allow a little room on the mat, allow a little bit of space in our practice for all parts of you, all parts of your experience to come in, we lessen the struggle a little bit, and really what we're doing is inviting the more challenging aspects of our experience to have a little rest as well, to join us in the practice. Relax your jaw, soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue, relax the forehead. Just allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears. allow your awareness to find your breath, to meet your breath. And just take a moment or two to notice the breath coming and going. Just noticing the inflow and the outflow. And that effortful or effortless ebb and flow of the breath. So the body knows how to breathe. The breath comes and goes. It's something we can trust, it's something we can rely on. It's familiar. And it's anchoring us into the present moment. And as the moments pass and your awareness lingers on the coming and going of the breath, just notice that perhaps your body might be starting to quieten a little. Your mind might want to wander, and you can choose whether to allow it to. But if it's wandering anywhere other than nice, calming, enjoyable places, I encourage you to bring your awareness back to the breath as often as you notice that it's wandered away. Knowing that the in-breath is a nourishing breath, a revitalizing breath, a breath that's carrying you from moment to moment, a breath that's bringing aliveness into your entire being. And knowing that your out breath is your cleansing, your purifying, your detoxing breath, the breath that lets go of anything in the physical body in terms of the breath having moved around and collected up and done its job. It's letting go of the breath that's no longer useful to you, but it also helps us to let go of cares, worries, tensions and concerns, be they physical, mental or emotional. Your out breath is a resting breath, it's a releasing breath, and it's a breath that moves you back towards your center, back towards stillness. So let's harness the qualities of the breath, of the inhalation as a breath that calls in and brings in nourishment and vitality, to set the intention, your intention for your practice, your sankalpa. How would you like the energy of your practice to support you? How would you like the energies of your practice to serve you? I'm thinking of some of the qualities of yoga, some of the qualities of the practice of finding stillness, finding ease, balance, calm, acceptance. Learning when to push through, learning when to pull back. Being mindful of your body and paying attention to what you need from moment to moment. Qualities of building strength, tone, balance. Qualities of letting go. Are any of these qualities useful to you or helpful to you? Not just within your physical practice, but also perhaps on mental or emotional levels. And the qualities of the out breath and releasing, making space for new life, new opportunity, positive aspects of life and experience to come back in. And also moving towards rest, moving towards ease, and moving back in towards yourself, connecting back into your internal, your essential self. Is there anything you wish to release, anything you wish to let go of? And I'll invite a general attention for you all, a general sankalpa, that your practice will help you to call in all that serves your highest good. And I'm happy to release anything that's no longer serving you at this time. So I invite you to take 3 nice, long, slow, deep, full breaths here. Nice inhalations Perhaps exploring a sighing exhalation. Nice long full inhalation through the nostrils if it's accessible to you to breathe in that way at the moment. And sighing out softly, slowly through the mouth. And then one last final energizing inhalation. There'll be lots more inhalations, but this is the last one as part of our meditation. Exhaling and letting go. And in your own time, when you're ready, with your gaze long and low, you want to start to slowly part the eyes. Sometimes we invite you to bring the hands up towards the face with this and allow the light to come in through the fingertips, but at this time, I'm not recommending that we bring our hands to our face. So just allowing the light to ease in nice and slowly. Maybe blink a little. Notice without focusing too much on what's coming into your peripheral vision, and then nice and slowly lifting your gaze and coming back in with a smile. So a smile will tell your body that you're feeling relaxed and at ease. And even if you're not actually there yet, it'll just help to create that sense within your nervous system. So we'll start just by releasing the palms alongside the body, and as you inhale, just bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and exhaling, releasing them back behind you. And that way, flow with a sigh, inhaling up and releasing down and behind, inhaling up and releasing down and behind. And then taking the palms forwards, arms slightly wide of the body. We'll externally rotate the arms to start with, so taking the thumbs back in the direction of the wall behind you. And then on your next breath, allowing the arms to rotate inwards and bringing the palms of the hands so that they're facing out towards imaginary walls either side of the body. With the next breath, whether it's your inhale or your exhale, rolling around the opposite direction again. So we're bringing a nice internal and external rotation here into the arms and into the shoulder joints. And then back on the next breath. And then once more in each direction, move with the breath and flow with the length of the breath. So the time it takes you to roll out matches one breath, be it your inhale or exhale, and the time it takes to flow back manages or matches the breath that it's moving with. And then rolling the palms forwards. As you inhale, nice and slowly bring the palms up towards the ceiling to about shoulder distance apart. And you can lift your gaze to look between the hands as if you are holding hope here. A nice big ball of hope or energizing sunshine, whatever it is that resonates with you. Exhaling, bringing the arms nice and slowly. Continue with a slight external rotation so the thumbs are moving in the direction of the sides of the body or the back of the body. And then inhaling all the way up, allow your gaze to follow the hands. And as you exhale, bring the arms back towards the side of the body, your gaze is drifting back into a more neutral position again. Lovely. This time we're going to take the hands all the way up and interlace the fingers. Rotate the palms towards the ceiling and then stretch through the palms, press through the palms, and you'll see now my shoulders are coming up towards my ears. We want to release the shoulders down towards the waist, so there may be a tendency for the shoulders to follow the hands. And then rotating the palms back towards the crown of the head, we're going to release out to the side. And I'm going to take my right hand to my right waist as I take my left hand to the floor. Now rather than leaning forwards here, I'm going to just be nice and tall and open, nice openness here across the heart space as we inhale, lengthen across here to the side. And then all the way back to center, palms forwards towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, taking the right arm across the body this time as the left hand is grounded to the floor. Inhale back to center. Exhaling out to the other side. And then really lengthening across the body. And again, just avoid bringing the shoulder towards the jaw or the ear, trying to keep the shoulder in a neutral position and the stretch really is through the fingertips. If you want to deepen this, you might bend the elbow a little. Inhaling back to center. And then exhaling to the other side, and really starting to sense into the sensation of release here in the side body. Again, just making sure your shoulders mind like to pull forward so that we're keeping the shoulders stabilized. We're not allowing it to follow the jaw, and the stretch really is through the arm and into the side body. And then inhale back to center, and exhale the hands back towards the side of the body. Take a nice full inhalation as you bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale as you release behind you again. Inhaling, shoulders up, and exhaling, releasing behind. Inhaling, shoulders up, and exhaling, releasing behind. And then we're going to take the hands up towards the ceiling, almost into all the way into prayer position. Then you're going to take your right hand to your left knee and your left arm around behind you, and your gaze is going to follow that shoulder. Now this hand can connect with the cushion if you're resting up on one. It might be connecting with your ankle, your feet, or the floor. And then inhaling back and around towards center as the arms come towards the ceiling, and exhaling around, so this time left hand comes towards right knee, right hand comes back behind you, looking over that shoulder. Lovely. Inhale back to center, arms wide, hands come to prayer position above the body, nice and long. And then exhale as you release the hands and bring them into cactus pose. So your palms are facing forwards, nice active fingers here. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. They may be lower, but they don't need to be any higher. And really inviting a nice openness here across the heart space as we bring the shoulder blades back towards each other at the back of the body. Lovely. We'll take a little torso twist here as well. So as you exhale around to the left side, so keeping the hips and the knees pointing forwards, the twist here is for your upper body, your thoracic spine. And then inhaling it back to center, and exhaling it around to the other side. And keeping the arms nice and wide, so there's a tendency sometimes for the elbow that's on the side opposite the twist to try and follow in. Back to center. Inhaling, lengthening the arms out, and then exhaling, taking the hands behind you, behind the body, palms in towards the ceiling, in towards your back, your pelvis initially, and then as you exhale, just rotate the palms outwards a little bit. I'll show you here. And then rotate the palms back in. You don't need to go up to kneeling, I'm just showing you what I'm doing here. Bring the shoulder blades back towards each other. And then release the arms forward. So just a nice release there for the shoulders and stretch into the side body. So you can let go of your cushion at this point, and we're going to make our way from wherever you are onto all fours. So setting up here for tabletop position. So we want to bring the hands so that they're underneath the elbows, and the elbows are underneath the shoulders. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Lift and spread your fingers, and then really claw in here with the fingertips. And imagine that you're opening a jar with either hand, so you have a slight external rotation down to the hands, and the arms are nice and active. Your knees are underneath your hips, hip distance apart. And then depending on your knees, some people like to come onto the toes here and give the arches a bit of a stretch. I find that hard in my knees, so I tend to keep the tops of my feet flat, whichever is preferable for you. We're going to cat-cow here. So as you exhale, tailbone towards your heels, release your chin towards your chest, and you're looking, gazing between the space between the legs. And as you inhale, release your tailbone towards the ceiling, release your shoulders, and having a look forwards towards the wall opposite you. So don't overstretch the neck here. Your gaze doesn't have to be towards the ceiling. It might be halfway up the wall, it might be towards the floor. So long as you're getting a little bit of stretch here into your neck. When you next exhale, take it back into your cat again, and really pressing down with the hands, keeping that jar opening, external rotation, starting to pull the knees apart a little bit, and then in your own time, releasing back into your counter cat. Once more, another direction, flow with the length of your breath. And then exhaling back to center. Take a nice full inhalation here. A nice gentle engagement of navel to spine, not too much if you're pregnant. As we exhale, we're going to look round over the right shoulder. Inhale, flow that nice and slowly back to center. And exhale, round over the left shoulder. Inhale, nice and slowly flowing that back to center. Exhaling round again over the right shoulder. This time pause on your inhale. And when you're ready to exhale, just see if there's any more space for you to move into. Can you deepen that stretch a little bit? And you may already be as far as you need to go or wish to go this morning, or this afternoon, or whatever time that you're watching back to center. And then round to the other side, lengthening here into the side body. Looking round over that shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale round. Inhale back to center. And then round over the left shoulder again. And this time, pause when you're ready to inhale. As you exhale, lengthen round a little bit more of the space there for that. And then inhale back to center. Lovely. So we're going to take the toes together, big toes together, knees a little wider. Now as wide as you like, depending on how much of a stretch you want into your inner thighs. And then just what I did there, I want you to just come back towards your heels with your bum, pressing your hands away from you. Now don't come all the way down, and then pull forwards, back. Now don't pass your, don't do what I'm doing here, which is pass your wrists with the shoulders. Just come back here, pull a little bit against the hands, and then use the hands to pull you back up into a more neutral position. Take a little wiggle from side to side there with the hips. And then we'll bring a little rounding motion into this. So you'll notice here, making circles. Now never pass the wrists moving forwards because you don't want to strain the wrists, but you're just massaging out the wrists here. Come back in the opposite direction, a little hip opener. You're releasing out the hips. A bit of a work for the thighs, and a little bit of massage of the knees again. And then back to a neutral point. As you exhale, send your bum back towards your heels. And don't come down yet. So if you're used to coming down into hare pose or child's pose, just hold for a second, please. Walk the hands away a little bit more. And really grip in here with the fingertips, so that you can invite your shoulders back towards your ribcage, your diaphragm, and really feel a lengthening there through the arms and an engagement of the muscles in the upper back. Then we're going to start to float from side to side, gently drifting from one side to the other here. So shifting weight from shoulder to shoulder. And you'll notice that your elbows are starting to come a little closer to the floor. When they eventually meet the floor, you can release. And if it's comfortable for you, you can release your forehead to the floor as well. If it's not comfortable to release the forehead, you might prefer to stack the hands and release the forehead onto the hands. Or it is a nice safe stretch for the neck. If you find that you're quite a distance from the floor and you just want to release the chin towards the chest without pushing it, just allow the weight of the head to drift down. That'll gently over time just lengthen out the muscles there in the back of the neck and any tightness that you might be holding. So have 3 breaths here in this child's pose. And start to relax the elbows. So if the arms are, relax the elbows, but relax the arms at the elbows. So if the arms are still quite active and you still find yourself pulling, just release all of that. No movement against the mat or no resistance necessary at this point. Just release the elbows, release the shoulders, and come back to rest here. And then we're going to, on an inhalation, think about coming back up. So start to engage the hands again, start to engage the fingertips so that they can help to activate the arms and bring you back towards lengthening you forwards. And as you inhale, start to move your heart center, your chest towards the elbows. And then press into the hands to lift yourself back up into your tabletop. You can bring the knees back into alignment so that they're about hip distance apart. And then we're going to curl the toes and start to walk ourselves back towards the heels. Now if this is uncomfortable for you, you can come back down so that you can flatten the feet and come up to kneeling instead. But this is just giving a little stretch out here for the arches, and then we have nice length in the spine. So avoid tipping your pelvis forwards and overarching the lower back if you have a tendency to do that, which my body does. And keep a nice openness here across your heart space. So we're going to have 1 or 2 more breaths here. So you're just working on the feet here at this point, working on the arches, and if you're up onto the knees with the feet flat, maybe just hugging the outer hips towards each other a little bit to engage the thighs and bring a little bit of engagement into the body there. And I'm going to invite you to walk your hands forwards a little, spread the knees a little bit wider, and then walk yourself back up so that you're coming in towards a low squat now. So we're not in a full squat here, but again, nice position. Again, if this is too strong for the knees, come up a little bit higher, maybe something like this, or find a wall and give yourself some support there. You'll get that nice activation there of the thighs as well, so nice inner thigh stretch here. So you might stay here, or if it's in your practice to come into more of a garland pose, you might come to take the forearms onto the inner thighs, bring the hands into prayer position, and then sit up in this for a breath or 2. So wherever you are with it, even if you are up onto the balls of the feet here, you might want to, now without dumping the shoulders forwards, you want as much openness across your heart space as possible, just to facilitate that opening there. Lovely. And then coming up onto the knees, take your left hand to the floor and just stretch out the right leg there. Inhale, lengthen across the body. And then back to center, so a little bit of work on balance here as well. And then we take the right arm to the knee, stretching out the left leg, stretch across here, and back to center. Find your balance as you come up. And then from here, we're going to find our way towards standing. So I'm going to come sideways, just to help you to manage this. So there's a couple of ways. So one would be to take the hands forwards and slowly start to straighten the legs. Take them back so that they're a little bit wider and hip width apart perhaps, and take the hands onto the thighs. Or if you have good strength in the thighs and good balance, you might want to just lengthen yourself up towards standing. So if you're in the halfway position, you're going to lengthen your heart center forwards, take the palms forwards, and as you inhale, lengthen the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and exhale, and let go. Lovely. So from standing, we're going to find our nice Tadasana, or mountain alignment here. Lift and spread your toes. Take the hands onto the waist, elbows back. Nice opening here across your heart center. So feet are about hip distance apart, a little closer if you're used to practicing like this. So invite the outer hips in towards the center line of the body. And as we inhale, we're going to lengthen up towards the ceiling. On our exhale, arms nice and wide, hinging forwards from the hips. Nice long spine. Come to a half fold here so that your tailbone is in line with the crown of the head. Your gaze is towards the floor. Keep the knees nice and soft, don't lock the knees, lift and spread the toes. And then with a very micro bend in the knees, just start to lengthen your heart center towards your thighs, or your chest towards your thighs a little bit more, so that you want to really feel the lengthening here in your hamstrings. And that might be as deep as you want to go with it. Or on another exhale, you might want to bring the belly a little closer to the thighs, curl the head towards the floor. And then wherever you are, release the upper body, so that we're coming into almost like a downward squat here. Engage the upper back by taking the shoulders back, the elbows back, pressing onto the shins. With the hands, lengthen out the legs there and lengthen forwards with your heart center, beam some out there to the earth. Lovely. And on an inhalation, bring yourself all the way up to standing. Exhale and release. And after the forward bends, you often get a nice sense of whoosh. So this time we're going to bring the arms all the way up. Exhale in the same way, hinge forward from the hips to your half fold. Bend your knees. Take the belly towards the thighs and take the hands onto the floor. And then I'm going to invite you to step back with your left foot Drop that knee to the floor, top of the foot to the floor, and then walk yourself up to standing and take the right foot so that the ankle is underneath the right knee and you're still facing forwards here. So coming into your crescent lunge. So watch that the left hip doesn't want to slide back behind you so that you come out to the side. You're inviting your left hip and thigh forwards, your right hip and thigh back behind you if you're resting on the left knee here. As you inhale, take the fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands forwards in front of you. Inhale, perhaps lengthening out to the sides. Exhaling, hands to the waist. Take a nice full inhalation, lengthen through the crown of the head, and as you exhale, take your belly towards your thighs, hands to the floor. Curl the toes on the left foot and then straighten out that leg here. So coming towards a runner's lunge. And again, just watch the hips. There's a tendency for the left hip to want to flail back and open it out to the side. So we're going to continue to invite the left hip and thigh forwards, the right hip and thigh back behind us to hold this alignment. Now take your right hand inside your right hand inside your right foot. Your left foot is way back behind, that would be tricky. And then your left hand onto your left waist so that you're opening out here to the side. And if you're comfortable here, lengthen the fingertips towards the ceiling. Lovely. Exhaling down, coming back into alignment here. And you're going to step back into a downward facing dog. So take your left foot back, press away with your hands to maybe pedal out your dog here. So avoid overextending your lower back. So there's a certain amount of lifting of the rib cages rather than dropping them to the mat. Hugging the outer hips very slightly towards the center of the body. You're pressing away with your hands, so avoid high planking. So shoulders are not above the wrists here. Go back towards the wall behind you. And one more pedal here. And then we're going to look between the hands. Drop the knees. Come onto the tops of the feet again and come back to sitting for a moment. Rotate the palms forwards, open across your heart space, and just bring a little back bend in here. So gently sending your heart space, and you might be up here if you don't like to be down onto the knees, but this is more of a camel pose if you're up. So sending the heart space towards the ceiling, shoulder blades back towards each other, lovely lengthening in the front of the body. Lovely. And then we're going to come back with the hands to the floor, back towards tabletop. I'm going to just turn around so that I don't end up with my back to you. You don't need to turn. And I'm going to take the left foot forwards so that the belly is already coming close to the thigh here. So again, your knee is underneath your ankle is underneath your knee. We're going to push up first of all for our crescent lunge. So here you're inviting your left hip and thigh back, your right hip and thigh forward, so that we avoid this opening out to the side. And the crescent lunge is a really nice lunge here. So pressing your front foot slightly forwards and dragging your back leg slightly back behind you. Inhaling nice wide arms all the way towards the ceiling. And then exhale, hands to prayer position, belly towards the thigh there. Take the left hand onto the inside of the left foot this time, right hand back onto the waist, and then opening out here to the right side of your backbone, move with that shoulder. And if you're comfortable here, you might like to lengthen the fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhaling all the way around. We're going to curl the toes on the back foot, lengthen out that leg. Here for a nice high runner's lunge. Lovely. We're going to step it back into downward facing dog. Again for a couple of breaths, pedal that out. And then looking between the hands. We're either going to walk the hands back to the feet or the feet up to the hands, whichever you prefer. So I find it slightly more accessible to walk the hands back to the feet. Holding onto the arms. Again, nice lengthening of the hamstrings here as we release the belly towards the thighs. Have a little ragdoll fold with this and a little roll from side to side, nice and slowly. And to the side, and come back to centre, and then to the other side. And then hands onto the shins, pressing through, lengthen forwards. Take a nice bend into the knees. And lengthen yourself up here towards standing. So we're going to come, you might actually end up coming so that your feet are off your mat. If your mat is probably lengthways, take your feet nice and wide, and that's absolutely fine. If you're wearing socks on a wooden floor, just make sure that you're not slip sliding, because you might end up doing some accidental splits. And I'm not there to talk you out, but you don't want to be caught in the farm gate under these circumstances. So you want your legs nice and wide here, and feet are either parallel or very slightly out, toes very slightly out. So I would suggest parallel here. You want to lengthen up here so that our tailbone is moving towards the floor. The heart center is nice and open. And inhale, our arms out to the side. Lovely. Exhaling, hands to the waist, elbows back. And as we inhale, we're going to press through with the feet. Lengthen forwards, hinging from the hips, crown of the head, coming so that it's in line with the tailbone. And again, watching not to lock the knees or to overextend anything here. And if you can avoid looking forwards and overextending the throat, that will help too. Take a slight softening into the knees, or a slight bend into the knees. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Now, if you're able to lengthen the legs back out while having the hands on the floor without dumping the lower back and maintaining this kind of half fold where the crown of the head is in line with the tailbone, you can do that, or bend the knees if it's preferable to maintain that position. And then we're going to take the right hand to the center of the space between the feet, left hand down through the waist, and as we inhale, lengthen round, looking over the left shoulder, and the fingertips might like to come towards the ceiling. Exhaling all the way back to center, swapping over with the hands, so left hand comes to the middle space, right hand comes round behind us, lengthening towards the ceiling, and then exhaling all the way back. Take the hands onto the knees, and now bending the knees, lifting the torso. This is where it can help to bring the feet so that they're very slightly out to the side. And then rather than leaning forwards here into this, see if you can sit up into it so that your tailbone is moving in the direction of the floor. And what I did there is, again, if you have this tendency in the lower back to hyperextend, I would have been doing this. So I'm lengthening up here like this instead of this. It's this. So if you have that going on, you'll know, because you'll have that sort of J-lo or double duck bone thing going on there. I prefer to think of it as J-lo, but whatever, we don't really mind. So pressing down with the hands onto the thighs and just sitting into this. So nice opening here. Lovely. And then lengthening through with the legs and up to standing. So from here, take the hands onto the waist. So we're going to open up to the left side to start off. So turn your left foot forwards towards the wall or the window or whatever is opposite. You're keeping this leg nice and straight here. And then the back foot we're going to turn in. So that the heel is in, and we have a nice 45-degree angle here at the foot. We're going to inhale and lengthen the arms, rotate the palms towards the ceiling, and then drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then the palms can come to float towards the ceiling. The floor, sorry, the floor. I'm kind of getting my opposites confused at the moment. So you're going to look over the middle finger of your left hand, take your back hand to your waist and elbow in and back. And as you exhale, lengthen forward. So imagine there's something nice out there in front of you that you're trying to just not grasp, but move towards. And we're going to let this left hand come to meet your shin, your ankle, thigh, wherever it wants to be. And then a nice opening here across your heart space so that we're really stretching and turning around to the side. Your chest is not moving towards the floor, it's moving towards the wall opposite. And if you're comfortable here, you might like to lengthen that right arm towards the ceiling. Lovely. Well done. Take that hand back to the waist. Inhale, lengthen to standing, hands to the waist. And we're going to just pivot the feet around. So It's a nice position to move from. So your back foot again is at this 45-degree angle. Your front leg is moving, or foot is moving towards the wall opposite. Torso facing forwards. Float the arms towards the ceiling. Drop the shoulders. Palms towards the floor. Left hand to the left waist. Looking over the middle finger of the right hand. And again, lengthening out. So moving towards whatever it is that you're looking forward to. Letting this hand come to find a supported position on this leg and this front. I should have said last time, this back leg can slightly, or your thigh can slightly ease forwards. We're keeping the opening here really across the heart space of the chest. So rather than collapsing to the floor, we're opening up here and then lengthening fingertips towards the ceiling. Lovely. And on our next inhalation, pressing up to standing. Hands back to the waist. Okay, we're going to take the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, nice wide arms hinge from the hips. Bending the knees, fingertips to the floor. Belly towards the thighs. You can press down with the hands. Lengthen forwards here. Straighten out these legs as much as they want to or don't want to. And then bend the elbows, bend the knees, belly towards the thighs. Crown the head to the floor. Press down with the hands, straightening up the arms. Lengthening the legs. And then seeing about crossing the legs behind you, or crossing the ankles, so that you can come to meet me at sitting. Take a moment or two to get here. Take a moment or two to land, to arrive. A nice full inhalation, a sighing exhalation. And just getting ready to start to ease down, start to release out a little bit. Lovely. So take the feet forwards, the knees are quite wide, sort of slightly wider than the hips, and you can hold on to the backs of your thighs here to lengthen yourself up. We're going to take the hands towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, take your belly forwards towards your thighs, allow the hands to release over the legs. Again, avoid overarching your thoracic spine or hunching your shoulders forward so that you're keeping nice space as much as possible here between the chest, between the shoulders, at the chest and your thoracic spine. So use the hands against the legs as a little bit of resistance there. And then exhale, surrender to that a little bit more, so you're moving forwards a little bit more, and start to release your chin towards your chest. A nice full inhalation here, and a nice full exhalation. Just nice lengthening there for your spine, nice full inhalation. And exhalation. Nice full inhale. And a sighing exhale. And then just give yourself a little massage as you lengthen up here. Take the hands back on the thighs. Lengthen your legs forward, pointing your toes forward initially, and hands underneath the shoulders. Really pressing down here with the hands. You might be up onto the pads of your hands or come back down. I find if I come onto the palms, my short arms will lean me back and want to be a little bit straighter here. So you want your wrists underneath the shoulders. Again, opening the heart space, opening across the chest, shoulder back, legs back towards each other. And then press the heels away and flex the feet there to lengthen out through the backs of the legs. And then you might want to lean back a little bit more here. Or come back to the palms of the hands. So you just get that slightly lean back. Point your toes away. Heart space, your chest is towards the ceiling. And maybe you'll lift your hips here. Maybe you'll lift your hips just a little bit. Have a breath here, a little bit of arm balancing work, arm strengthening work, and maybe the hips come a little bit higher, toes might come towards the front of the mat. So whatever's comfortable for you. And as you exhale, release it all the way down. Bending the feet, going back onto the elbows, lifting the hips, finding the floor here. Have a breath or two. And just allow yourself to land a little bit, taking the thighs towards the belly. Wrap the hands here. Have a little rock from side to side. Just stretching out the lower back. If you really hold those thighs in if you're pregnant or you want space for your belly, take the knees a little bit wider. And give yourself a nice release there, a nice massage for the back. Lovely. Taking the feet back to the floor. We're going to hug in the outer hips towards each other. So we lift and spread the toes. Our feet are slightly beyond the knees, ankles are slightly beyond the knees rather than directly underneath them. Hug in your outer hips towards the central line of the body. Hold the hands alongside the body, close to the thighs, and maybe holding on to the outer hips. And tuck in, roll the palms towards the ceiling, tuck in the shoulder blades one at a time. Hugging in those outer hips again, start to press the feet away from you and send the knees in the direction of the toes. And allow that to lift the hips, to peel the hips from the floor. If that's not naturally occurring, ask your body to do that. Keeping a slight engagement here of these outer hips, hugging in towards the central line of the body so that you have some protection for your core, and then moving back up along towards the shoulders. So your chin will dip slightly in the direction of your chest here. Unexpected friend there. So pressing down with your hands, interlace the hands behind or underneath the body, pressing into the floor, pressing up with through the feet. Lovely, and then releasing the hands that are coming out of your simple bridge, releasing back down to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming back here into a little forward bend by bringing the belly and the thighs close to each other, the thighs to the belly, have that little rock from side to side. And then release the feet to the floor here. So take the arms by the side of the body. As you exhale, allow the knees to fall over towards the right or left side. And then your next exhale, have a look out over the opposite shoulder. And move that shoulder away from the chin as you go to create some space there for the neck. Have a breath or two here. Then on an inhalation, come back to center with the head, followed by the knees. Have a nice exhale here, and a nice energizing inhalation, and then allow the knees to fly to the other side. And the chin to roll over the opposite shoulder again, moving the shoulder away from the chin there, the jaw, to create a little bit more space. So just a nice calming twist to close down the practice. Have another breath here. See how an exhale, a sighing exhale might feel. And your own time, when you're ready, you're going to release the head back to center, the knees back to center. And we're going to think about moving towards Shavasana now. So you might like to just come into a standard Shavasana where you extend the legs, arms alongside the body, palms towards the ceiling. You can really open this out here, so into a nice open starfish shape. Take up as much space as is available to you as your body would like at this time. You might prefer to come into something like a goddess, butterfly pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana here, where you bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out to the side. And you could either use the hands supporting the hips here for a little bit of support, or you might like to place a cushion or a block underneath either of your thighs there for a little bit of support. So finding whatever variation of rest and release is comfortable for you for your Shavasana, and if you've got some preferred music for your Shavasana, I encourage you to pop that on as well. Take a moment or two to settle yourself. It's really important that you're nice and warm. And I'm going to guide you for a couple of minutes in towards relaxation, and then I'm going to leave you. So you're going to spend as much time as you like in your relaxation, where that might be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you might want to stay there for about half an hour, depending on what you have available to you in terms of time. So take whatever time you need to settle yourself. You can pause the video if you want to take a little bit longer to settle. And then whenever you're ready, Again, whether choosing to close the eyes or if you prefer to keep your eyes open, just having a long, low gaze. Not necessarily focusing on anything in particular. Allow your entire body to settle. Allow your breaths to become nice and long, deep, slow and full. And let go of any remaining sense of holding on. The work is done now. This part of the practice here, Shavasana, is perhaps the most important part of the practice in terms of allowing your nervous system to absorb the benefits of the practice. Allowing yourself to move a little bit more fully inwards. Perhaps finding a little pocket of peace, a little space where you're calm and at ease. In body, mind and spirit. Take a moment to remind yourself of your sankalpa. And you don't even need to repeat it, just bring it to the background of your awareness. Trust that your breath, the in-breaths will call in and the out-breaths will release. So you have the breath to do the work for you on a more unconscious level. Relax your jaw. Soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing your forehead, space between the eyebrows. Allowing the outer edges of your eyebrows to melt towards your temples. Letting your temples melt towards the tips of your ears. The entire scalp dissolving into the earth beneath you. Relaxing your neck, your shoulders. Releasing any sense of holding in the biceps, the forearms, the elbows, the wrists, the hands, and letting all of the fingers relax. Relaxing your chest, front and back. And just letting your heart be open, your heart space. Connecting you to the world around and connecting you back to yourself. Relaxing your belly above and below the navel. Sensing into your sense of personal power, your power center at your solar plexus. And knowing that you have the strength, the courage, the tenacity, the creativity for whatever life is bringing to you at the moment. Relaxing your hips, your pelvis, your glutes. Letting the legs rest out, be heavy and relaxed. All sense of activity in the thighs melting to the earth. The shins, the calves, melting, releasing. The knees, the ankles, feet and all of your toes just softening out and letting go. Letting your entire system be easy. Letting your entire body relax, release. Letting yourself just be. So be here now, be here with your breath, be at one with yourself. And whenever you find your mind wandering, you can choose to wander if it takes you to places you want to go to, places that are nourishing or perhaps restoring for you in some way, comforting for you in some way. Otherwise, bring your awareness back over and over to your breath. Just noticing the breath coming and going. And allowing yourself to rest into ease and into peace. May you be well. May you be happy. May you ride the waves of your lives. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. Perhaps making these words your own. May I be well. May I be happy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. And we just offer a general expansion of this loving kindness, intention to our family, our friends, to each of us connecting, watching in, to our communities, our country, to the wider community, the world, to all those supporting us at this time, our frontline workers, to the supports that we're giving each other and that we're giving to ourselves. May we be well. May we be happy. May we ride the waves of our lives. May we live in peace, no matter what we are given. May you be well. May you be happy, and may you find a little peace now for a little while to be, just to be. Please stay as you are for as long as you like, and when you do decide to move, when you are ready to emerge from your practice, do so slowly with little gentle ripples of movement, and gentle invitations into the body to stretch out, release out. A nice glass of water or herbal tea, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Take care, be well. See you soon. Namaste.